My name is Roxas Colite. I am the author of the Knights of Stone Shadows series, and The Prophecy of the 12 was my debut novel. I'm going to try to post more content relating to my experience as a writer and my journey with the Knights of Stone Shadows series, including some lore videos that dive deep into some of the characters that are mentioned in the book. Today's video explores the Knights of the 13th generation and their parents' status, so whether they were a knight, whether they were a squire, or whether or not they had any affiliation to the Order of Stone Shadows at all. I've broken it into a couple of different categories, the first being the parents were neither knights nor squires. The knights that fit into this category are Aaron Bell, Ashton Truell, Nix Anderson, and Fenorian Brett. With Aaron Bell, neither of her parents were knights or squires, but they were expert mages with no affiliation to the Order of Stone Shadows. They were going to homeschool Aaron until the Oracle revealed her knight status, and then they sent her to the school at Stone Shadows so that she can learn with her peers instead. On the other hand, Ashton's parents were both in service to the Order as battle mages. His mother unfortunately passed away in combat, while his father ended up severely handicapped from a spell of his own backfiring. For many generations, Nix's family has been politicians and diplomats. Her father is currently serving as a diplomat for the magical community to the non-magical community, and is very close with both the president and the royal family. Now, Fenorian's backstory is a little more complex. His father was a human mage who fell in love with a Dawn High Elf. She was a noblewoman. He has a sister who works for the Garden Society. Fenorian's strong magic is what attracted the draw of the Oracle, and he was made to be a knight for the third time, the 11th, 12th, and 13th generations of knights. The next category are knights who are children of squires only. There are two knights in this category, Exnira and Marcus Lovella. Exnira's mother was a squire named Exnakia from the previous generation. She was squire to Leto Philo. Unfortunately, Nix's mother passed away when she was about a year old. She was killed by Nevin Altair. Leto raised Nix as her own to honor her friend and squire. Marcus's father was Phineas Lovella, who was the squire to Lucian Carson. His father was so proud to know that he was going to be a knight. He's not so proud that his son is a sexist bully. Next are the knights who are children of one other knight. The knights in this category are Loria Vexia, Kira Sin, Felix Carson, and Emmeline Carson. Loria Vexia, I believe, is only mentioned one time in The Prophecy of the 12. Her squire has a little bit of dialogue, but she doesn't really have any at all. She is the daughter of Knight Nero Vexia from the previous generation. She actually didn't want to take after her father and tried to refuse knighthood altogether, even threatening to kill herself. She was assigned a squire by her father, and that squire is Naavia. Kira's father was Knight Albrine Sin. He had hoped that Mikos would be the knight taking after himself, and was very disappointed when Kira was announced as a knight. As a knight himself, he did not want to follow a woman. He hated that Adeline Stone was the leader. He himself wanted to be the leader and resented all of his other knights for following her instead of him. His sexism led to him disowning both of his children. Felix is the son of Knight Caroline Kinley. She was a very powerful mage and knight. What's known about her is that she is said to have the worst tragedy of the 12th generation, but she was also very kind. She had a lot of friends, and she was very close to Lucian Carson, even having her son take his last name despite no relation between them. Her squire was Dirk Aberdeen, who betrayed her trust, and that's how Felix came to be. Emmeline Carson rounds the end of this category. She is the daughter of Knight Lucian Carson, and he was probably one of the most well-respected knights in his generation, as well as being quite powerful himself. He passed on one of his missions. There is only one knight who is the child of both a knight and a squire, and that is Johnny Paulus. Johnny's mother was McKenna Jackson. She was a knight of the 12th generation, and his father was Paul Paulus, who was the squire to Alberine Sin. Unfortunately, Johnny's father went missing on one of his missions with Alberine. Alberine claims that he has no idea what happened to Paul. And another unfortunate thing is that Johnny's mother has been in a coma from one of her missions for several years now. There are 5 knights from the previous generation that were not mentioned, so the question remains, did any of the other knights have children, and what happened with those children? Of course, we know that Adeline Stone, who was the de facto leader of the previous generation, she had one daughter only, Aya Stone. Aya is now the mentor of Felix and Emmeline. These next 2 knights, I don't think I've mentioned anywhere else, but they were written in the original short story that I wrote before I wrote The Prophecy of the 12. They are Mason Vey and Francis Fowler. Mason Vey, he fell in love with his squire post duty, but the feelings were unrequited, and he mostly disappeared. His location is unknown. Francis Fowler, on the other hand, had 2 daughters that were trained by the order. They are the same age as Expia and have already left the school. I have mentioned these other 2 knights already in The Prophecy of the 12. Leto Philo, she had no children of her own, but as previously mentioned, she raised Exnira as her own. Justin Thoreau, he died too early. He was killed by Vicar Ludwig. He and Kaya were a team. Kaya was his squire and his lover. There were once rumors that she became pregnant before he passed, but for anyone who is brave enough to ask her outright if that was true, she would certainly set the record straight. I hope you enjoyed this video about some of the lore for the Knights of Stone Shadows. If you want to see more content, please let me know what you want to know about my book series, about my journey as an author, about my journey with this series. Please feel free to send me a message on Instagram or on TikTok. And I hope that I have more information regarding Fragments of Vines and Illusions soon for you guys. Stay tuned. Hopefully, I'll have some announcements in midsummer. But thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.